Imagine Merrick, okay? He's a building, he's a tower, he just sits there. Ooh, what are you gonna do? Scratch me? And then all he does is, when he sees a goddamn aircraft comes by,
you mean, shah!
Exactly.
It's shah!
And then they die. Brain damage.
Alright guys, I think it's time. Well, here we go. So, special guest, you want to say hi for everybody?
Hello, everyone.
Who are we talking to right now? Am I talking to Selena right here? I think I'm talking to Selena.
That's right. It is I, Selena Miku.
Wow, this is pretty amazing. The last time I played with Selena, she called me a loser, really aggressively too. I was just trying to kill Harden and Grima in the normal levels, and she called me a loser when I clicked the map. Do you still feel that way about me, Selena?
Loser.
Oh. Wow. So I guess for those of you that don't know, Selena here is our faithful assistant of Lu Bu, one of the most prominent Fire Emblem Heroes YouTubers. He's a pretty cool guy. So if you don't know who that is, I think he likes to talk a lot about brain damage. Maybe he likes healers a lot, something like that. What do you think, Selena? Could you tell me more about your boss?
Well, I mean, brain damage is a very serious disease. It happens when you play too many video games. I mean, there's really not much else to say. For all gamers here, we all are susceptible to such a disease. That is why we have people like Dr. Sakura to help us through these difficult times.
Oh, is Dr. Sakura also going to make an appearance today?
Of course, of course. If we're going to be talking about healers and the 6 Paths of Pain Plus, surely Dr. Sakura must be part of this.
Pain Plus is a very, very, very good skill from what I've heard. Many people like to use that, along with blowing people savagely, maybe multiple times from what I could tell. So, tell me more about your boss, Lu Bu. How long has he been YouTubing?
Well, since March. See, at the time, we were having a nice and wonderful time playing Nier Automata. And then one day, Mid decides, oh yeah, I'm going to play some Fire Emblem Heroes, because it's a new game and we haven't played anything on the cell phone for a little bit. He was a bad guy, because the game actually turned out to be really, really fun. And we ended up getting too into it. You see, we had this little system called we're in it together. See, what happened is that we used to play a cell phone game before too, right? We played this stupid cell phone game called Astronest. It's a really stupid game, but both of us like to play space sims. We like to fly spaceships around, and it was a game about building spaceships and sending them to battle other spaceships. Well, because we were all adults that can spend money, we decided that maybe we should spend a little on this. I don't know. What do you think? And when I asked this, I discovered that he's already spent money on this. And he's like, what about you? I don't know. Come on, we're in this together. And then I got tricked into spending money on a stupid space game.
So this is how it started before Fire Emblem Heroes? You had to be competitive with your friend?
No. It's not really being competitive or anything like that. It's just, playing with my friends. My friend is a good guy. We've been friends for over a decade, and we play all kinds of games together. So, being of the same taste, it's usually easy for him to drag me into playing other games. And we were both playing Nier Automata at the time, so, while I'm busy, jumping around as 2B, slashing things, like, hey, look, check out this Carol that I just pulled. Oh, check out this Takumi that I just pulled. Like, oh, dude, come on, man. This isn't right. You can't be telling me these things. Oh, yeah, dude, you'll definitely like Carol. He likes to power bodies up into the sky like a tower where they're gods or something like that.
Are we talking about the same person here? The sword demon Carol?
Oh, yeah. Xiaodun himself. I love him. He's my favorite character. He's got serious brain damage. So you listen to some of the things he say, you realize
Don't
that
worry.
he's not a man
My
that
blade has
is
been meant
that is
for
of
you.
sane mind. I like him a lot. I try to plus 10 him, but
He doesn't show up very often, actually.
yeah, he tends to share banners. I did have a pretty good shot when I first got into the game, but at the time I wasn't too interested in it. So when I first got into the game, and like I said, it was like March or something like that. So it was like this stupid banner with like 6 blazing heroes all smoking their 420 weeds and whatnot, and there was it was a time when we were all hyping up the Quatsuna. You know, everybody was like, "Oh yeah, Quatsuna, so badass! You slap life and death on her. She can attack 4 times. Ooh, such a badass." I'm like, "Ooh, that's so exciting! I want to do that too." But you know, when I first started, I didn't know anything, so I just kind of like, "Oh, okay. First, I need to actually get a hero. You know, I'm just like everyone else. I'm gonna re-roll a million times and try to get a hero." So my first 5-star ended up to be Ninian, or Ninian, if you want to listen to Brain Damage version of her name. So Ninian has been very helpful for. I managed to pull her as my very first 5-star. She was minus attack and plus speed, which is very good for support of her status.
I'm agreeing with you, Selena. That's also what I had.
So Ninian is strictly a support, and Ninian cannot really fight, especially back then. She didn't have steady breath. Her hyper beam does like 2 damage, so it was a really sad time for her. And I was like, okay, all right, Ninian needs friends. So I went and spent my free-to-play orbs and pulled a couple heroes. I managed to pull Lobster, and Lobster was very good. He was very good for me, but I needed some kind of range support. So at the time, I was like, you know what? I'm suffering a little bit of brain damage right now, and everybody's just hyping this Quatsuna thing up. So, all right, I'm going to go and just dump a million orbs into this colorless thing. I can afford it, no problem. And then I did. And what ended up happening was that I got some horrible things. I literally got a plus 10 Rebecca before I even got like 6 Setsuna. It was pretty bad. I was sitting at like 11 Rebeccas, like 5 Jafars, like 3 Lucias. It was really, really bad. It was terrible.
You wailed on that banner? Like you went like crazy, like spent a lot of money on the 6-person banner?
Dude, I didn't know anything. I was a new player, and a new player don't know a damn thing about this game. And at the time, it seemed like that was the norm. I just kind of got into it, and it's like, okay, all right. And I mean, like this Setsuna is like, oh, you're 3 or 4 stars. You should be easy to pull, right? No, I'm just getting 5 stars, one after another, after another, after another. Something is wrong here. What's going on? I just want Setsuna. Just give me my 3 or 4 stars. Whoops. No, I'm just going to give you a plus 10 Rebecca.
Did you know that Rebecca, our kind Rebecca, doesn't even have a bowstring in her art? She shoots arrows without bowstrings.
There's nothing wrong with that. That's what we call brain damage.
Oh, okay. I get it now. So, did you play Fire Emblem before you played Fire Emblem Heroes?
Yes, I did, as a matter of fact. So I first started with it was just called Fire Emblem at the time, and I didn't really play much of it because I was a busy kid, going to school and whatnot, and not doing stupid things like spending money on cell phone games. So, I played a little bit, but I didn't really manage to get too far into it. And then a million years later, we had Awakening. That, my friend, I spent so much time on that stupid game. I don't even know why. I don't know why I would spend so much money on a game like, so much time on a game like Awakening. It was like, oh yeah, you get to support and marry people. It is so incredibly weeb that I didn't think I would get into it. And yet here I am, people making fun of me, my friends making fun of me on TeamSpeak, like, hey, yeah, I see what you posted on Game Facts. Yeah, you're like asking about, what people did you marry? Or those stupid topics like that. And oh man, that was so embarrassing because that was so incredibly weeb. But I did it. I play through. I beat hard. I first started on hard, then Lunatic Plus. So that was really tough. The Lunatic Plus was something else altogether. Freddy is a good guy. That's what I learned from all this. Freddy is the best character in the entire universe, and everybody should like Frederick.
Did you end up plus 10ing Frederick as you praise him right now?
Oh, unfortunately, there was many different projects that I have to work on at the moment. I actually hosted a vote a little bit ago on my YouTube about who should I plus 10 next. I put down 5 choices. I put in, okay, how about Raven? Raven is cool because he's new, and I have like a million copies of him, and I could plus 10 him. He can go double life and death 3, so badass. He's so fast. And then there is Felicia, and well, Felicia is pretty strong now because of her new plates. So I want to look into that as well. And then I had Osama bin Laden. Osama is a monster. Let me just tell you, he's a monster beyond comprehension. But I can't build him because I am kind of still thinking about what to do next. Who were my other 2 choices, though? I kind of can't remember it right now. I'm suffering some kind of brain damage.
Not Freddy at all? Poor Freddy.
Freddy needs a legendary weapon. He needs like a pebble or something so he can throw at people. That's what he needs. He needs to like get an axe full of pebbles, and when he swings, all these pebbles will fly into people's faces like a shotgun or something, and they go ooh, and then they die and something like that.
Well, he's got seashells. He's got seashells.
Seashells by the seashore. No, pebbles. Pebbles is his trademark, not seashells.
That's true.
What he needs to do is, okay, one of those things, like a net or something. He just needs to go and put a bunch of pebbles in it and just toss it at people. That's his weapon, like a range axe. Like people were talking about how they wanted like some javelins or something like that. Well, now Frederick has like this stick with a net in it, and he can just throw pebbles at people. There's his DC weapon. I would definitely use him if that's his weapon.
So he would they would change Frederick's hammer weapon to just a pebble throwing axe, huh? That's my new immersion.
Sure, I mean pebbles do blunt damage. That still hurts armor. Can you imagine that, dude? A DC weapons that hurts armor? Take that, Tharja.
Awesome. What's your favorite thing about Fire Emblem Heroes?
Oh, Fire Emblem Heroes. Well, my favorite thing about that game is that, first of all, I don't have to deal with, okay, excuse my French, bullshit percentages, okay? Like, when you play a game, you think about certain things you want to do, you make plans, and all of a sudden, hey, you just missed a 99% shot. What am I going to do? I just died to a critical hit. Oh, I better turn off the system and start over again. That I didn't have to deal with in Fire Emblem Heroes because, that game at least spared us from such horrible things. Percentages is not something you want to deal with in, well, okay, it is when you summon, but, when you actually play the game, you don't want to have to deal with percentages. It will give you brain damage. It'll change you forever. I play XCOM. I know this.
You mean when you're point blank to someone and you shoot their feet as opposed to shooting them right in front of you?
All right, look, okay. In XCOM, you can have like the biggest, baddest shotgun in the world. You point it in their face, and all these shells mysteriously just don't hit them, and the alien just looks at you like you're some kind of idiot, and then murders you. That's what happens in XCOM. You can actually miss 100% shots in XCOM. It's a beautiful game for how stupid it is.
And many people have recommended it to me.
Oh yeah, like I said, it's a beautiful game for what it is. I actually have a bunch of Fire Emblem characters in it. I actually played a Let's Play of XCOM a little bit ago. I should really go back into it. I want to play it on Legendary difficulty because that's the hardest one. I was just playing on Commander Iron Man. I obviously have Selena in there. I have Baruka. I have all kinds of interesting characters that you will find very interesting and looks just like as they would in Fire Emblems.
Straight out of XCOM. So I guess the most interesting question to ask you then is, did you play Fire Emblem Warriors? Because your name is Lu Bu, right? So that
That should go without saying. That should go without saying. I play the hell out of that game. All right, no, I played it when I can, but I did play a lot of it when I did. I I really like the game. It went into a very interesting direction lately too. It's like, oh, now people's clothes explode when they get hurt. Oh, now you get to see Camilla get knocked like 5 feet in the air, and all of a sudden her over clothes falls off and she bounces all over the place like a balloon. That is Fire Emblem Warriors now.
I haven't actually played that update. I kind of want to turn it on and see what you're talking about.
You should. It'll give you brain damage.
Oh boy. I played it before that update. I'm definitely curious now. Wait, does this apply to Niles too?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay.
I should check out more of Niles' support. Actually, he's hitting on every males. It's really hot. He was hitting on Frederick when I saw him last. He was out of control.
All right.
Yeah.
Show's over. I gotta go, guys. That sounds a little bit too exciting for me.
But what about that time when Frederick bends over to pick up that pebble?
Uh-oh.
All right. Let's move on. So, what should we talk about next?
I think we can get more of your opinions on things, Selena. Let's talk about what's going on in Fire Emblem Heroes. How about that Grand Hero Battle Takumi? What'd you think of that?
Takumi is interesting in that he has this stupid 3-turn counter thing that's going on, that he goes and blows your face off with a railgun. That's very interesting, and it actually was kind of... It's pretty challenging if you're not prepared for it, because of the way the map is laid out and the way the reinforcements just pop out from those little holes. It's actually pretty hard to deal with if you're not properly prepared for it. So for me, it wasn't so bad because my healers actually like being reduced to like a certain amount of health without actually entering the combat, because then they can proc their brazen attack dev and do chunks of damage.
Ooh, so you ended up just stalling them?
No, that wouldn't be right either. I actually went out and used Elise and Priscilla to strike out at people. Sakura didn't really do so well with attacking because she's more of a tank than anything else. And there is Maria. Maria is really terrifying. She just destroys everything she sees.
Maria's the fastest, isn't she? She can run real fast.
Oh yeah, Maria is extremely fast. She's blisteringly fast. You give her some attack and she can tear just about anything apart. I was doing arena a little bit ago, and I was just watching her just kill this Harden like he was nothing. I was really terrified when I saw that. Harden, he was like, oh yeah, look at me, I'm a big guy with Soviet mustache. And I hit him a couple of times, he gets angry, shows me his teeth, and then he disappears. That's how terrified dreaded Maria is.
What is your healer composition then?
Well, it's like any typical MMOs you would play. You should obviously have healers, of course. You can't do a party without healers, you know. It's like in Final Fantasy 11, you go around with no healers. People are not going to stick with your party for very long. Final Fantasy 11 is a very rough game. But anyway, so yeah, you need your healers. Healers are very important, and of course, we have a team full of healers. And then you have DPS healers and tank healers. So you need to look at their stats and think about what they do. In most cases, Sakura's my main tank, and then Elise as like my main DPS, Maria as a DPS, Priscilla's as support. She's very good at support, and she can still do damage. She shouldn't be overlooked just because of her lesser stats compared to Elise.
So you have the tank healer, the healer, the DPS healer, and what's the fourth one?
Support healer.
Support healer. What does the support healer do?
Well, support healer just uses her C slot to go and give Elise cavalry buffs, really. I mean, she turns Elise into a violent beast. And I intend to eventually give her something like chill speed on her B slot to really ruin someone's day.
Ooh, chill speed. How do you feel about all those healers not being able to inherit so many cool abilities?
At first, I was really frustrated, you know. It was really stupid. It's like, oh yeah, the best I could get in terms of attack was like attack +3. Then you get like something like fire. What was it called? Fire boost. Then you can get +6. But then once you get hit, you can forget about that. So for a little while there, they don't really have much to play with. Except, I guess you can use close counter. Close counter was pretty funny for healers, especially Sakura. Sakura really likes that. But for the most part, it wasn't until Brazen Attack Dev that I seriously had some really disgusting tools to work with. But otherwise, I'll just go with what I can get. +3 attack, +3 speed. It's still there. It's still very impactful, especially speed, because speed is a very interesting stats.
You mentioned your crazy team composition with attack healer, tank healer, attack being DPS, healer, and support healer. What about them being close together, encouraging those bonds, all those bond skills we've had? Have you tried using those ones?
Oh yeah. That was the very first thing I thought about when bonds came out. Except the problem is that I couldn't pull any. Okay, so when I spend money, it's all about an objective goal in mind, okay? While bond skill is very useful, it does have some problems. It requires you to sit in like a certain spot. It requires you to be positioning your units differently. You can't just have freedom of movement when you use bond. So I didn't really like it all that much, though it is handy for when a healer needs to go and tank things. It is very important to do that when with Sakura. But sometimes, you want to have close counter so that you can have fear plus spread fear on the enemy when they hit you with a melee attack. It's fairly important that you have something like that handy. But bonds is a little restrictive, so I didn't really like going into it. And then some, I have to spend money to pick it up. It was a 5-star exclusive skill. It was either picking up Naui or picking up stupid. Free Orm. Free Orm is really stupid. I didn't want to pick her up. It was a legendary banner. She was sharing a banner with who? Spring Xander, Spring Kata. Yeah, that was no. It was Spring. Yeah, it was no good. Or it was just absolutely terrible. There's no way I'm gonna summon on that stupid banner. When you spend money, you have to have an objective goal in mind. If you don't, you end up wasting a lot of money. Of course, you could be like one of those guys who just spend $1 million on every banner, but when you play this game, you should really have a goal in mind, and that's actually kind of what I should talk about too next when it comes to spending money. See, I kind of regret spending money in this game in the first place. I would have much preferred to be a free-to-play player. I made a terrible mistake when I did the Setsuna thing, okay? So I actually went and contacted Nintendo. I was like, oh, look, I made a terrible mistake. Please, let me just return this. Let me just return these orbs. Don't pretend none of this ever happened. They of course said, no. In fact, they actually say, all right, we don't offer refunds for Super Mario Run. I'm like, yeah, okay. Obviously, they didn't even look at my request, and they're just like, nope, you can't get refunds. So I
Super Mario Run?
Yeah, Super Mario Run. That stupid cell phone game that they had before Heroes, I think. But anyway, so I contacted Google Play. Google Play was like, oh, okay, well, we could, but we can't do all of it. I'm like, oh, damn it. All right, fine. You know what? I made a mistake. I can live with it. All right. I decided that I will stick with the way I am, and it was good. I get to play with a lot of tools and toys and whatnot. I can build whatever I want, but ultimately, I feel like I could just go and be a free-to-play player this whole time, because when you really think about it, each month, if you don't spend orbs, you get 200, 300, and in February of this year, we get 400 orbs. That's a lot of orbs if you don't spend them on YOLO summons. If you don't just summon because, oh yeah, this Thorja is not wearing anything. She's so hot, I'm gonna spend some orbs on her. Yeah, if you don't do that, if you don't do stuff like that, you can actually save up enough orbs after a couple months to +10 a unit. And with a couple other pity breakers on the side that you can use as materials. That is what I think is what I should have done. But, since I kind of spent thousands of dollars already, I kind of can't.
So you've dug yourself into the rabbit hole, is that right?
Nope. I mean, once you spend money, you just can't go back. That's the end of it,
All I can remember is your truck of orbs with legendary Ike there waiting. I saw you. You know what I'm talking about?
You mean the way? You mean the way? First, legendary Ike watches me flushes all these orbs down the toilet, then set all my paper money on fire with Seekbird, and then goes and pulls a big dump truck full of those wonderful orbs and dumping them in a landfill. Yeah, I remember that very well. And it's all Seekbird's fault. I didn't even want a +10 legendary Ike at the time. I'm like, dude, I just want some Seekbird so I can slap his attack tactics on my healers and turn them into monsters. Which I did. They are monsters, but well, I accidentally pulled a bunch of Ikes before. So, one thing led to another. I now have a +10 super magic Ike.
I've met a lot of people. Not many are as odd as you, though.
Oh, Ike just called you odd, Selena. How do you feel about that?
That's all I gotta say.
So, Selena, did you end up doing some dancing?
What, dancing?
Yeah. I mean, did you not from Laszlo anything during the tap battle mode? Weren't you dancing here and there?
Oh, you're not bringing that up, are you? You know how I feel about that tap battle thing. It gave me significant brain damage. I wasn't sure I was gonna actually live through the night after that. I was like, why are you not reacting, stupid button? I want to play on expert mode, okay? So when you play, something like this, you're either full casual or you're trying to aim for a high score. So obviously I try for aiming a high score. But, well, if this was any indication, I'm actually pretty bad at this tapping game. I was like, oh, dude, how do I get my 4 fingers to fit on the screen? How do I hold a cell phone and still use 4 fingers to tap on the screen? Oh, how do I get the timing right? I can't play music because if I play music, I get copyright issues from Nintendo because see what happens with Nintendo is that they copyright stupid music that they have, and then they steal all your monetization for all your hard work. Def says thanks. So I have to go. I have to go and mute that, and play my own music over it. So I don't have any rhythm going on. I just have to look at the screen and see what's going on, and then what's going on? All these flying units just show us up on my screen. I was like, hey, where exactly are you going? Are you going to the bottom one? Are you going to the top one? The middle one? No, wait, no, that's not it. Hey, wait, there's a horse coming. So I ended up giving myself significant brain damage. So I didn't do that again afterwards. I just kind of went casual, and then I have all my healers dip in a wonderful pond, on allegedly naked, and that was really hot, and that was the end of it.
So overall, a very successful mode, or do you think you're going to be calling up Laszlo to get some dance tips?
No. Definitely no dance tips, and definitely not from Laszlo. Definitely not. It was a difficult time for me, and I don't feel I have the time to actually master this. It's a good mode. Don't get me wrong. It's a fun little distraction. It's cute. I like it a lot. And you get rewards off of it, You get rewards off of it despite whatever difficulty you play. It's cute. I like it. It's something for everyone. It's, I can't see how anyone can actually hate this thing.
True. How do you feel about the new modes then? The rival domains, the blessed gardens. Do you think that you and your healers are going to be taking advantage of these awesome new modes?
Well, I talked about it a little bit ago in my recent video. So with rival domains, if it is indeed something like 20 units on screen, the 6 passive pain plus is gonna go on a hunting spree. They're just gonna go and find people grouped up, and they're just gonna shower them with endless amounts of pain. So many pain. And then, we just send in one healer, like Jenny or something, and just have her kill them all with advantage. It is very disgusting, and it will be something worth watching. As for Blessed Gardens, I feel like it's not as bad as some people say. It's not like a money grab or anything, because they allow you to use your legendary heroes or whatever unit you have blessed. They've been handing blessings out like candy lately. I guess it's because the mode is kind of stupid in the first place. The blessing thing, in most cases, people are just hoarding them. They're not sure what to do with them. They don't even have a legendary hero sometimes, so they don't know what to do with them. So now you have this mode, so you have some incentive to go and slap your stupid blessings on your characters, and then you can send them in. And I'm guessing this mode is really just there for you to collect orbs and feathers. It's like an ATM. That's what that is. It's a blessing ATM.
A blessing ATM. Do you feel like because all these weapon refinements happening that any of your amazing healers are going to be getting a weapon anytime soon? And if so, which one?
Currently, what they have now is very awesome. But I am hoping that Sakura and Elise would get a legendary weapon. But I haven't played Fate, so I can't say, if they actually have a legendary weapon in their own game. But if Hinoka's spear is any indication, I can probably surmise, Sakura's spear. Sakura's staff. I think it's called a Sun Festal or something like that, actually. So that could happen, it could carry unique effects. I mean, we see Loki, right? Bulbasaur's Sex, using her movement ploy across the screen. That's interesting mechanics. That can cause traffic jam. When AIs don't move properly, they give themselves brain damage, and they end up clogging the screen. And you can use that to your advantage. You can keep the enemy from advancing. You can keep them from attacking. You can keep them from advancing. You can do all kinds of stupid things with that stupid mobility ploy. And hopefully it comes out as a skill as well. Oh man, that would be so awesome. But in general, I can expect some kind of things that they'll do for healers. It's just a matter of when, really.
Maybe Loki herself will be the first one to ride the steed into battle for all your other healers. If Loki was to show up, would you have her take over someone's spot?
I mean, I cycle around my healers all the time. I don't really have like a set number, Sometimes I use Jenny, though I haven't used her in a while. Sometimes I use another one. It's, it depends on the situation, They have different stats, they have different roles. Some fit better than others. It's like, sometimes you have a big screwdriver, sometimes you use one that's slightly smaller. That's the one that can turn the screw, then you use that one. That's how it works for me when it comes to healers. Not to mention, a 6 Passive Pain Plus, I kind of have to run 6 different healers, How can I fit 6 of them unless I bring them into rival domains or something like that, I cycle around them, and if Loki does come out, Bulbasaur's Sex would be very interesting, but she doesn't have... She's for her mobility ploy, not for pain. That's for other healers. Sometimes I need her, sometimes I don't. That's how it's going to work for me if she ever comes out. I don't know if she will, though, because she's a very central villain character at the moment, so it's kind of tough to expect her to show up.
Let's see. Hopefully now that we've run past 4 legendary heroes, maybe we'll finally see a colorless legendary hero. And then that will be the leader to take your healers into new heights. But since you don't have that much trouble with the Infernal Grand Hero battle, you're probably good. So, since we're talking about healers, maybe you should call over Dr. Sakura then, yeah?
Sure. Why don't we do that right now? Let me go give her a call.
Hello, Dr. Sakura. How are you doing?
I'm doing alright, thank you. What would you like to talk about today?
I'd like to hear about your healing methods and how you and your squad like to succeed in all these difficult tasks that most people, don't give you credit for being the support that you are.
Well, I think it's a stigma that came from healers not doing enough before the weapon refinery systems. So what ends up usually happening with healers back then was that unless you run rehabilitation, was like, healer wasn't very good, and rehabilitate was something you have to, wait until your unit gets beaten to an inch of their lives. So it was really tough to heal someone back then. At most you're pushing 15 from recover. So people aren't healing enough, and healers aren't doing any damage. They could if they run raffle staff, but in general, that's something you stick with Jenny. Usually with a healer, you kind of just, use them to heal for 15 or rehabilitate when the time comes. But there was really no reason to use them unless you want to show off. I did do a thing with Lloyd where I have to heal his face cancer. That's when I had to go and get my medical team over and bring in Nurse Bulbasaurus Rex to bounce him across the river to cure Lloyd's face cancer. We managed to pull it off in the end. It was a difficult infernal map, but with my healers, we were able to pull it off because Absorb, even back then, was a very, very powerful skill. The idea that soul procs after every attack is very disgusting. It is a very disgusting skill. Like when it comes to tanking, there's two schools. One is you have a lot of defense, and two is you heal while you defend. That's how you tank in games. Enjoy.
So you would call your healers maybe some sort of bloodsuckers? Some vampires?
Yes, vampires, yeah, that's what they are. But yeah, thanks to that, Lloyd now looks much better now. He's on his road to recovery, and everything is good. But then, Weapon Refinery came, and that changes the whole thing with healers altogether. Most importantly, it gave them high SP skills. Like their staffs contain 450 SP to use now. Their heals, it costs 450 SP. So they have a lot of SP in their skills. So they climb in the BST charts a little bit more than you may think. So they're not actually that bad to use if you want to score in an arena. Like you can see me do some arena runs with when I have a healer around, and you can still see me go and enter tier 20 without any issues. So healers aren't so bad anymore. And with new toys like Pain Plus, which you already know, it's pretty disgusting. And not to mention, AoE debuffs. That's the stuff of dreams. Back then we could only debuff like one unit. Now we can debuff an entire group, allowing them to just tank pretty much any attacks afterwards. It's very handy to have a support around, especially on difficult maps, so you can control the damage you take, heal it, and then retaliate.
Interesting. So how come people don't give healers enough credit then? How come no one likes playing the support role? I think we can credit this to Marth, right? Marth had his Falchion upgrade and everyone was upset. Maybe this has something related to how your healers and your squad just doesn't get enough credit, enough love.
Well, that's another thing I want to touch upon, actually, since you brought up Marth, of all people. Marth is a great character, okay? He's called Prince Overdrive in one of my builds, and that's because he runs his unique Falchion with 2 to all stats drive. And if you were to use the C slot and the recent drive def thing, you get a pretty sizable stat increase for your units. If you really want to, you can push for, 3, 6, 8 defense on a drive. That's no laughing matter. That's a lot of defense for your team. And then some you're adding attack, you're adding speed, you're attacking resistance. Prince Overdrive is not to be trifled with. And yet people don't see this. People oh yeah, he doesn't kill people in one hit. He doesn't annihilate someone like Alm. He's automatically bad. No. People have been in the one hit KO mentality for too long now. People have been always thinking about, oh yeah, we gotta think of some way to kill this guy in a single shot, and then that'd be the end of it. Well, I'm afraid that's not how it's going to be for much longer, because of all these stupid tanks that they've been bringing out lately. Every unit these days have more BST. So if they're not in the attack and speed, where do you think they go? In the defense, in HP. So you're going to find there's going to be times where, oh, I can't kill this guy. Oh, and now we have chill speed as well. So you're going to find yourself, oh, I can't kill this guy. I used to be able to kill this guy, but now I can only hit him once, and now he's going to rip my face off with quick repulse. So it's really difficult to kill people after a certain amount of time. And when that happens, you want to have good support. You want to have good medical support, and you want to have good stat support. So I feel like people just kind of needs to outgrow themselves a little bit. They just need to, get a new mentality when it comes to playing this game, because things are going to change.
So what do you think people should do to give healers a try? Should they choose their favorite healer at 3 stars, 4 stars, and work on them?
Yeah, I mean, healers are actually very easy to come by. Feathers Others are plenty. You go and do a voting gauntlet. You have about 10k, and then you do an arena, and you have something enough to make yourself a 5-star healer. Healers don't even need to be plus 10. They're just there to heal and give all kinds of tricky debuffs like gravity or fear or just pain in general to support the battlefield. That's what they're supposed to be doing. What I'm doing with my units are a little different, but that's because I play a little different from everyone else. But in general, healers providing support is much better on a team that you can't kill in one hit. Like I said, you're going to find yourself in situations down the line where you can't kill a unit. Then you need to do some tricks to keep yourself alive, because all Fire Emblem games, you don't want to die. You die, you lose your points. You have to start over again. So that's what healers are there to do, to keep you alive.
So who should people start with? Their favorite character, or do you have any recommendations?
Well, I mean, if you do have a favorite character, that's great, but you have to also consider how well they fit in your team as well. But in general, though, healers don't see much battle, so it should be alright. You can just put them in the back or something like that. With chill speed, chill speed is a perfect skill for healers. You generally don't want to use them on combative type. Like Celica coming with chill speed was kind of weird, because Celica prefers something else for her B skills. Maybe Wrath, maybe Vantage, maybe Swordbreaker in case you fight someone that can wreck her, or someone running in Swordbreaker by themselves as well. You want to run something else for B skills when it comes to combative units. But with healers, you have free slots to go and slap on chill speed and other such things like that. Supporting is far more important, and since they don't see much combat, it doesn't really matter what you put on them. You can just you can give them something like Ploys, for instance. You can give them Ploy, chill speed. You can give them a lot of resistance. Healers usually come with a lot of resistance, so you can give them. I'll give them a bunch of Ploys. You have Ploys like Attack Ploy and Defense Ploy in the seals right now. So you can give them like 2 Ploys for a C slot, for your seal slots, and then you can give the entire enemy aids from across the screen. There's nothing you can do about it. That's how healers should be played if a team like that. But you can still use your favorite unit. That's what I meant. I kind of went overboard talking there.
That's okay. I think all of us have 1 or 2 healers that they should try out, give a chance to. I agree with you. Also, the point and chill speed being on the B slot, that's really creative. I didn't consider that very well. Everyone who's thinking about how to use that, but putting it on a healer, it's brilliant, especially from a support aspect. What about that creative vampire build? Who's the best for that? What is the vampire build? Could you explain it to everyone?
No, vampire build is pretty handy for certain characters like Jenny, who hits really, really, really hard. See, what happens when it comes to that is that when you hit someone, you do a lot of damage, and then you heal half of it back. So if you give her quick repose and something like, say, speed ploy to slow them down so they can't actually double Jenny could actually heal more damage than she takes. That's how I true soloed Inferno Oliver with that. That's the very first healer that ever true soloed the game. Yeah, a Grand Hero battle. That's how I did it, because Jenny was able to slow down everybody, and when they hit her, she retaliates, heals all the way back, and the enemy dies. It's really disgusting. You should give it a try if you can.
With close counter?
With close counter, yes. Oh wait, no, actually no. That time I didn't. I use Brazen Attack Dev, because 1, the enemy is a lot of range, so I don't really have to care about close counter all that much, and 2, it increases her attack to an astronomical amount and gives her some defense on top of it to deal with the melee units. So the melee units tries to hit Jenny, they don't do any damage. Jenny has close defense as a seal, and she has Brazen Attack Dev active, so they can't do any damage to her. Meanwhile, the range unit attacks Jenny, and Jenny just tears them to shreds and heals right afterwards. Then afterwards, after they're all dead, Jenny goes and takes care of the melee attackers attacking her, and that's how she clears the map.
You said quick repose though, so is that on the B slot then?
Yes. Oh, but if you're soloing a map, it doesn't really matter, right?
I see. What sort of builds would you recommend then for maybe some of the more common healers that people like to use? Something like maybe Maria I think people don't give Maria enough credit. How about Maria? How do we use Maria?
Oh man, Maria's a demon, okay? Maria is very, very terrifying healer. I don't know why people don't give her enough credit, because she is actually extremely tanky for what she is. You have a speed that high, you cannot double her. She is so incredibly fast, and it's not like she has paper defenses. She's not like Lucius with like 13 death. I get hit by something remotely pointy and I just pass away. No. Maria actually has a decent amount of defense, and she has a decent amount of resistance as well. She's actually very tough to bring down, and her attack isn't exactly that bad either. And you also have to consider this: a lot of units tends to be in the tanky on the high dev side. Usually units have like high dev, low resistance, and usually sites like GamePress recommends more minus res on top of it, so they become prey to healers. Healers will tear them to shreds.
Game Press. Do you recommend that people use that resource for their healer builds then?
GamePress, the site?
Yeah.
I mean, they might have like a good build once and then, but the problem with them is that they're a little. I feel like they're a little biased sometimes, and not to mention, I don't know if they actually play their units sometimes. They build their units not the way I would recommend. I would prefer using GamePress though to find your IVs, to know your stats, you see if your unit gets a super boon somewhere. But other than that, builds should be something you figure out on your own, for your own taste. Not every build's gonna work for every character. You also have to consider how well this unit fits into your team as well. Usually people what they put on the screen, it's good for that unit in a vacuum, but not in your team. So I highly recommend building it yourself, but sometimes there are some really overpowered skills out there that are just really the best. But in general, you should build units according to tailor to your needs rather than some other asshole's advice.
How do you feel about the new Brazen Defense Resistance skill? Would that be really good on a healer then? Maybe like a tanky one, like Azama maybe, or Sakura. Sakura has pretty good defenses too.
Oh yeah, definitely. With that, they can stay alive indefinitely. However, I'm still kind of leaning towards the attack dev at the moment, because having more attack is really scary on a healer. People still underestimate healers' damage. Well, when they suddenly gain 7 attack and you attacking your weak little resistance, you might change your opinion of them a little bit.
I remember
in
dying.
general, I see a lot of physical attackers too. Not too many mages, especially on the higher end of the arena. So
yes, I remember losing to a Miracle Brazen Attack Defense Elise. She did not die, and then I lost. I still have brain damage from that situation.
Yeah, that would give you brain damage. You should come see me after this, and I'll take care of you.
Thank you, Doctor. That was definitely one of my nightmares. Please send Elise my deepest regards.
Yes, I will be sure to let Elise know.
So you mentioned Marth, but how about some other characters that aren't healers that you think you've seen could have some decent potential?
Oh yeah, there are many units out there that have decent potentials. In fact, I think that, in my opinion, every unit can be made the strongest unit in the game. I don't believe in tier lists. I tend to just build whatever unit I feel like, and if I like them enough, I'll turn them into monsters. Right, for instance, this is a very easy example, right? Like Batre. So he's actually a very powerful character. I mean, like, all things aside, his stats are completely set up to be a physical tank that does a lot of damage. And since, on the upper arena, you're usually just fighting tanks, you're usually just fighting armor or heavy infantry. You don't usually deal with mages that much. I mean, occasionally you fight like a Tharja or something from time to time, but it doesn't matter, because Batre is going to walk over there with his stupid hammer, he's going to bash your face in, and that's what Batre does. That's why I like him a lot. People give him a hard time because, I don't want to summon for him. You see his smug face, like, every time you summon. Like, yeah, he may look like an asshole, but he's actually a good guy. He's actually a great guy. He can carry you. He can beat content for you. His hammer is no joke. There's so many armor units now. You need to grab the stupid thing and bash Thorja in the head repeatedly. So Bartre is very good, and like Merrick could be very useful too. It's actually one of the tankiest mage around. Like him a lot. I'm thinking about an anti-aircraft build for him, and maybe some other stuff like that.
Anti-aircraft.
Yeah, anti-aircraft. I'll turn him into an anti-aircraft cannon with Bond. We were just talking about bonds, right? Imagine Merrick, okay? He's a building, he's a tower, he just sits there. And then all he does is, when he sees a goddamn aircraft comes by,
You mean, Shah!
Exactly.
It's Shah!
And then they die. That's what I want my Merrick to be if I ever get a chance to build him. Unfortunately, I have a million projects, so I can't work on that. But just think of him. Just know that he has infinite potential with him, and don't just switch out his Excalibur for Dark Excalibur. I mean, his Dark Excalibur build works too. This unique ability to target resistances of flyers, like Dave Baruka, for instance. Okay, Baruka is very tanky. We all know this, but what about her resistance? Becomes Merrick food. Let me tell you that. For America.
America. Perfect. So, what do you think the biggest factor that we have here for people is? Since some of us have to spend lots of money and some of us don't, should people be spending money to be working on their favorite American projects? Or should we hold back?
I mean, just like everything else, you want to work on what fits well with your team. Before you do anything in this game, you want to make sure you have a working team. You don't want to just go with every gimmick like I did with Setsuna, not end up getting her, and then get a whole bunch of ridiculous things popping up. That's not what you should do. I was young and naive. I made mistakes, but you learn. You learn from doing. So if you don't spend money on the game, you have to especially take care of this. You do manage your feathers. You want to know what you do with your feathers. You need to make sure that you build your team accordingly. You can't just, spend orbs and just because, oh yeah, Selena's out, she's giving me a gift. I like gifts. I don't have any Valentines, so please give me more gifts, Selena. So it's like one of these things where you gotta make sure you have units that fit when you summon. And it's the same principle when it comes to spending feathers. Feathers is a free-to-play currency. You have to be really, really careful how you spend them. Even with me right now, even with me who spent thousands of dollars on this stupid game, I still have to manage my feathers carefully. I need to know what I want to build, and I also need to know what I need to transfer with skill inheritance. There's a lot of useful skills out there that are locked to 5 stars, and you need to pay 20k feathers for. So a lot to think about when it comes to things like this. But in general, there are some units that are really good that you can 5 stars for free-to-play players. Like the Bartre I mentioned, he's one. Hinata is also very good with doing that, because he's also a very focused unit. And then there is Obaro. She's very, very good. She's absolutely amazing.
Who?
She's President Obaro.
Oh,
Best
President
tank in the
Oboro.
universe.
Have
She's very good.
Have you used President Oboro?
How do I use her?
Yes.
Well, currently I use her as a distant counter user, but there's other ways to use her as well. You can use Steady Breath, Quick Repose, for instance. It's really tanky on both sides. Just doesn't have speed. So what? You don't need speed. If you're tanky, alright, you can get hit like 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, 1,000,000 times. It doesn't matter. You can tank it, and then afterwards you just simply rip their face off. And they die. That's how it works when it comes to tanky units. Speed, you see, a lot of people overrate speed. I think speed is a good stat. It's a little weird sometimes, Speed is like some things that you don't want too much of, and sometimes you don't want too little of. In general, you want to keep it around the 5 range. You don't want too much, you don't want too little. But with characters like Obaro, who doesn't really have that much speed to begin with, just dump the stupid speed and just, focus on your defense. And a lot of these bad units in the 3-star, 4-star range just so happens to be those kinds of units. Like guys like Obaro, Hinata, Florina. Florina can be very tanky. Florina is actually a very scary character. She's got a ton of HP. She has a ton of res. If you work on her defense a little, she's actually pretty tough to bring down. Guess what she's carrying? Carrying a big old heavy spear, and she's gonna ram that stupid thing up Zelgius' ass, and he's finished. Finished, I tell you.
What if America comes by and he comes with the anti-aircraft guns?
You fly out of his range and you toss someone else in.
Hey.
Mixed teams these days, I think, has a lot of potential. But what you could do is, say you're running with the nice Empress Senaki. Okay, Senaki is a monster, right? So, no, America tries to bring me down, so I'm gonna get the Empress of Begnon. How do you pronounce that country name? I can't remember. I didn't play the game.
Begnon, yeah.
Okay, so you just go and suplex, just have Floriana suplex this Empress in. The little Empress will just suddenly go and summons a supernova, and with double bond. So if you use attack res bond or attack dev bond with her along with her pref weapon, she has like what 10 extra attack on top of that amazing attack she already has. She's gonna obliterate Merrick. Merrick will not survive. His head will explode. He doesn't really have that much res. Then he's finished. Mixed teams nowadays, I think, can have a lot of potential as well. Back then they didn't have any support, but now there's a lot of fun toys available for them, especially with guidance too.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of those characters with the high attack that can make some really cool stuff happen, especially since you always make these kind of creative builds. We like to use the Lina over here with our project for a one-shot build. Have you ever seen this before? Where you run into arena and there's like 3 infantry pulses and a quick impulse for an instant like glacies or AoE special. Have you seen
I
that
run
before?
that all the time. So when Norian Summer came out, that was the thing that I wailed on. People are thinking about getting Summer Corn. I mean, I still got her anyway, but people were focusing on Summer Corn because she wasn't wearing any clothes. She's got a really naughty face when she gets damaged. People want that. I wanted this half-naked guy with no nipples because he gives me infantry pulse. That's what I wanted. And I wailed the hell out of him. I got like 6 or 7 of him. I was really lucky too because Elise was sharing color with him. But I managed to luck out. I didn't get any lolly Elise there. I just pulled a whole bunch of half-naked guys, and then I just feed them. Just have guys like Virian, for example. Virian just have him open his big noble mouth and eat this guy majestically, and then provide infantry pulse to his teammates so that his teammates can one-shot people in the face.
You have great taste, Dr. Sakura. You have great taste.
Thank you.
Did you happen to marry him in Fades?
I didn't play Fates, unfortunately, so I did not do such a thing.
Would you?
Ooh, I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of good guys out there. I don't know. We'll have to play the game first to give a more concise answer. He's up there. But I mean, Niles is pretty good too. I think he works both ways, from what I understand.
Indeed. Would you fall for Niles? Did you fall for him in Warriors?
Oh yeah. He's amazing, dude. He jokes half the time. He doesn't even take the fighting seriously. He just jokes half the time. I love him. He's amazing. He's my kind of guy. I like. Look, I understand. We're fighting some kind of demon, dragon, and all that. We do that all the time. I get bored and tired of this, but all of a sudden this brown guy shows up with white hair, and he's like, "Oh, hey, Frederick, how about you bend over and pick up this pebble over there?" I'm like, delicious. This guy, I like this guy. I want him on my team all the time. Unfortunately, you can't, because sometimes you gotta swap characters to farm supports, but he's a very interesting and colorful character, and we need more of him.
What do you think about Leon, then? Are you a fan of Leon because of Niles? Niles goes both ways, but Leon only goes one way.
I mean, that's how it is. I mean, he's very fabulous. I'm not actually gay or anything. But you know what I mean.
I mean, you are a woman, so it makes sense.
Yes, you're absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. I should watch out for people like Soleil.
Yeah, Soleil might really come on to you, Doctor. You have to watch out. They're very
Well,
very important person.
from what I understand, Soleil is currently cock-blocked by a nasty situation where she cannot marry any females in the game. So I think I'll be okay for a little bit.
You think Soleil is fabulous? Or are you trying to avoid it? Cool. How about her fascination for tea? Are you a tea drinker, Doctor?
Tea is very, very, very fabulous. I love tea a lot myself. I mean, like, dude, I was just talking about Virian. Virian is a very, very cool guy. He happens to like tea too.
No coffee for you, Doctor?
Coffee. I like coffee, but since I don't usually drink coffee all that much, if I can drink it at like 9 a.m. in the morning, and then I'll stay up until 9 a.m. on the next day. That's how bad coffee is for me. I get really affected by it. I can't sleep after I have coffee.
Well, thank you, Doctor. Let's see if any of our clients tonight want to ask you some questions. Yes?
Sure. Any questions you like? You see.
If you're in the chat, feel free to give Dr. Sakura any sort of questions you'd like before she has to get back to her next patient.
I think they have brain damage. I don't know. I don't see any questions.
There's just a little bit of a delay usually.
How thick is Sakura? Oh my god, dude, I can't answer that one. I don't know. I guess it depends on what you're looking at. Okay, if you're looking at Elise and Sakura, that can go up to like 11. If you're just looking at her, it turns into 1. Is Lucius a good pain user? Yeah, Lucius is a great pain user. I mean, he comes with the skill. Let's see, is F Corn? What do you recommend? Are you talking about like the regular F Corn, like the dragon one? That's the case. Definitely Dark Breath and Wind Sweep. Wind Sweep, it's one of these situations where Wind Sweep actually is handy for her.
It's Steady Breath, right? The Steady Breath, Wind Sweep combination? I've seen that a lot, Doctor.
Yeah, it's really disgusting. It is. It makes me physically ill. I don't like that. Let's see, best IVs for plus 10ing a Selena. Let's see, I prefer minus HP and plus speed. Why do I pick HP? Is that usually when you're a tank, you're expected to take multiple hits. HP loses value when you get hit a second time, or a third time, or a fourth. So usually you want to work on your defenses, so you don't want to lose those. You don't want to lose her already meager attack. So having more speed meant that when she gets attacked, she can do a double attack. You can secure more doubles when she uses her Steady Breath Atomic Blade right afterwards. So I highly recommend speed, even though attack gives her 4 attack. You want to secure the Ignis. You really want to secure that over doing 4 extra damage. Why is Elise bigger than Sakura? Well, Elise is on a horse. Elise automatically looks much bigger than Sakura just because she's riding on a horse. And then you get cavalry buffs on top of this, a nice movement range, a ton of attack and speed. She devastates the battlefield for those that are not prepared for it. How don't you build Gunthra? Let's see. I think plus attack is really good on Gunthra. I think she's one of those characters that really benefits from one-shotting someone rather than attacking twice. Halloween Sakura? No comment. Let's see, which Sakura build do you recommend? I recommend plus Dev. Hey, wait a minute. Did you? You asked me this. What the hell is this? I recommend plus Dev and minus HP because she gets a super boon, and minus HP because she tanks multiple hits over and over again. And as for your build, you use Fear Plus to further reduce the enemy damage. When you think about this like this, okay? Having a debuff like Fear meant you actually get plus 7 to both defense. At plus 7 to Dev, you get plus 7 to Res, and you add your seals on top of it, all of a sudden you have a tanky healer that doesn't die and still debuff the entire enemy force, so that if they decide not to attack Sakura, well, they will attack an enemy for less damage. So that's tanking in essence. It's like you taunt someone that they focus on Sakura, but if they don't want to attack Sakura, well, they have to attack someone else for less damage and maybe even die from doing so. That's how you manipulate the AI, by the way, because when the AI feels that they will die and they can't kill the opponent and then they will die, they will target something else that can't kill them instead, like Dr. Sakura, because she's not built for damage, she's a tank. That's how you play with the AI. That's how you quote-unquote taunt in this game. Let's see. Ooh, why is Jenny the best healer ever? Jenny is really good, but I wouldn't say she's the best healer ever. I really like her a lot, though. She's got so much attack. That attack is absolutely essential for her Savage Vantage build. That thing will take someone completely by surprise. So, a lot of times I realize when I go to the arena, do you ever see like hardy bearing? Maybe you'll see like once or twice, but most people, they generally don't run hardy bearings because hardy bearing is like use it to counter one move. It's like running white hole to counter dark hole in Yu-Gi-Oh. You don't do that. You have most of the time you end up with a dead card in your hand.
That's a great example.
Yes. Yu-Gi-Oh was my favorite game for a while. So you waste a slot for nothing, and you also have to think about how you have to use your coins to get it to level 3. So there's a lot of opportunity cost that comes with using hardy bearings. That's why, despite the fact that it's handy when it's there, nobody runs it. There's so much opportunity cost when it comes to running hardy bearing that you should maybe consider having it like as a, I don't know, like something that comes with another effect, something that'll make it so that people will actually run the skill. Just having its effect by itself is not enough. That's the problem with hardy bearings, and why I feel that you can run Vantage and you will ruin everybody's day. It's kind of why I guess I kind of say that Jenny's the best healer ever when I did the video. It really will catch someone by surprise if they're not prepared for it.
Hold on, let me get my Jenny Vantage. Right now, this second. I am inspired.
Alright, so let's see. What about Nino? Oh, Nino, I have already a setup for her called the Dark Emperor. That I will bring up later when I actually have enough feathers. Feathers is such a commodity for me right now. So it's not enough. I just never have enough feathers. It's kind of funny. I'm a whale and all that stuff. I spend a lot of money on the game. Here I am struggling with feathers. You don't want to summon just to get feathers, by the way. That is so inefficient. You spend thousands of dollars for nothing. If they ever offer like some kind of, they kind of offer a package with Burger King that comes with feathers. But if they allow you to buy feathers straight up, oh my god, dude, I'm gonna be so over that. All of a sudden you'll see a whole bunch of ridiculous unit that used to be plus 3 stars or 4 stars. All of a sudden like 5 stars. You see like, for example, Sarah Moon running around. That's how I would build Sarah. I'll turn her into Sarah Moon. You know what she's gonna do? She's gonna grab that stupid candlelight. She'll be like, I'll smite you in the name of the moon. You can't attack back. And then the 6 passive pain plus will descend upon you. Then you die. You can't even retaliate. That's the power of the 6 passive pain plus.
What if they released a value meal with a healer on it?
Oh, it depends on the healer, really. But honestly, I just need the mats. That's what I needed. And or I guess if it's Bridal Lynn, I definitely would welcome her. Her candlelight is too much. That was the one time that I would go into Legendary Banner to go and pull a bunch of legendary,
legendary Ike. You're haunted, Doctor. You're haunted.
Haunted? Why am I haunted?
You pulled so many legendary Ikes that you're letting it slip.
Yeah. It's giving me brain damage. So if you ask me if brain damage can be treated, it can. It'll just cost you an arm and a leg, $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 until you pull the unit that you actually want. Can't believe it. How can Seekbird? People are complaining about not getting Seekbird, and here I am with like 5 and 6 legendary Ikes and no Seekbird. I was wondering what the hell is going on. My head was about to swell up and explode right there and then. Let's see. Now let's talk about thieves. Hunting through colorless hell must giving you a lot of thieves. What's your same favorite? Like Kagero. Well, there you go. My favorite is Kagero. 1, she has massive boobs, and 2, she does a lot of damage to infantry. You're gonna find a lot of infantry running around. You Dragons is a thing now. You're gonna see like infantry dragons to support them. Minions, yeah, you could blast them in the face. They die with Kagero. But I think one of the things with thieves though is that, like, for instance, Rogue Dagger, you can steal someone's dev and res, and you can also debuff them. So you can do a chunk of damage to them, and on top of that, you can tank better. Tanking is going to be really important, I think, now that we're moving away from the one-shot era into another era altogether. So if they release an armor tank, and you give them something like that, or, like, say, Smoke Dagger. Dude, Smoke Dagger is so disgusting. -6 to all stats? Are you serious? What the hell were they thinking when they made something like that?
But that doesn't come from a character with giant boobs.
Oh, no, it doesn't. It comes in character with Saizo, apparently, though.
He has nice abs, though.
Huh?
He has a nice chest, though.
Yeah, he does. He does, indeed. Alright, let's see what other questions we've got.
Ryoma's definitely got some nice fan service retainers.
Oh yeah, Ryoma has beautiful taste. I like Ryoma a lot. I like him a lot. I like his retainers a lot. He's definitely great. I mentioned this before. When I first started the game, I got Ryoma, and he carried me throughout so much of the game. It was really a sin that I spent money on this stupid game, because I could have just used Ryoma for everything. That would have been the end of it. But no, I just have to go and get Setsuna. No, Setsuna is so hot. She's like this maid archer thing, and she can quad people. Ooh, that's so exciting. I better try and pull more of her. And as I go down the rabbit hole, and this is what happened. I regret these things. Alright, let's see. Savage Vantage, Bill and Jenny. Yup, that's right. How's Dark Overlord Elise doing? She's doing very well. One other question. Monster Reborn, yeah, dude. Can you imagine that? Oh, oopsies. I have somehow turned on my stupid thing by accident. But anyway, Monster Reborn, can you imagine that in Fire Emblem Heroes? Dude, usually you're worrying about people dying, but if you have Monster Reborn, you don't have to worry about that anymore. Dude, that would be so sick. You can, like, pass through all the arenas without any problems. I would definitely love it if, like, healers can revive people. That would be beautiful.
Light's Blessings on a healer as a skill.
Yes, like a skill. So incredibly broken skill. Yes. I would absolutely love that. That would be so beautiful. Let's see, what other questions do we have? Dr. Sakura's best haircut in Fire Emblem Heroes. Ooh, tough question. I say the best one is probably Ryoma. You can't quite deny his Raditz hair. He must have put a lot of effort into managing it. But then you have Elise. Like, what the hell are those things? These, like, cinnamon rolls around her head. What are those things? What do you even call this hairstyle? But, it's fabulous, and it's definitely something that she put a lot of work into. I think at the end of the day, I think I would go to Elise. I mean, you see Raditz before. He has that hairstyle, so Ryoma isn't exactly original.
That's all right.
How about you answer some, huh? Been just talking this whole time.
That's all right, Doctor. All right. Does anybody want to give the host here a little bit of a question before Doctor has to go? Do I think something like Solar Brace could become a seal? I think down the road, maybe, if they run out of ideas, or the power creep reaches extreme levels, you could probably start seeing stuff like distant close counter. I don't know, maybe Sake's Blessing as a seal. Could you imagine? The game would go in a huge direction that way. Especially since... Yeah. What do you think, Doctor?
Distant counter would be... Well, actually, no. That would not be right, too. The problem with Sake's Blessing is that it doesn't stop dragons. It stops pretty much everyone else, but dragons, no. They kind of give the finger to Lin and be like, no, you're gonna die now. There's nothing you can do. You and your pitiful 15 defense, yeah, I'm gonna eat you whole. I'm gonna have a delicious Lin meal. I'm gonna have Mongolian beef for dinner tonight. That's what the dragons are thinking when they see this. Sake's Blessing, it has weaknesses, which is good. I prefer that. Desperation as a seal, though, that might be different. Desperation as a seal might change things a little.
We could be seeing it soon, though. We had Quick Riposte.
True. I didn't expect Quick Repose to show up as a seal. Quick Repulse as a seal is absolutely amazing. It allows you to run stuff like Guard on your B slot, Wrath on your B slot, and still be able to double attack afterwards. That's a very, very useful seal. In fact, it gave Hector that stupid build that lets him have All Breaker when he gets attacked. Break everything. Can you imagine? That's so incredibly stupid. And yet, well, he can pull it off thanks to that stupid seal.
Advantage seal
yeah.
For your healers?
Do I use those? Yeah, definitely.
Advantage seal?
Definitely. Oh, yeah, Advantage seal would be so good.
Then you can combine Wrathful, Dazzling, and Vantage.
Oh, Lord. God, dude. Why do you say such horrible things? It's so disgusting, even I don't want to do it. Yes, you can do something like that. You can do some really nasty things with healers down the line because of all these seals that are coming in. Seals, they're giving... Okay, so we talked about how, healers don't have their A-slot options. They don't have, like, anything, right? But now with all these seals coming in, all of a sudden they can attack people in an angle they cannot even see. That is the essence of building a really powerful team in Fire Emblem Heroes. It's not about making your characters as buff as possible. No, it's about hitting someone in an angle they cannot see. So if they say they have Wings of Mercy, that would be even scarier. Wings of Mercy on a healer, first of all, makes them heal better. Second, you can hit them in an angle they cannot see. You can pain people in an angle they cannot see. It's all about the enemy phase sometimes.
Would you agree then that Niles is very good at attacking enemies from the rear, from angles that they can't see?
Yes, Niles is an expert in doing so. Honestly, people don't give Niles enough credit. I think he's a very powerful character, even in this game. He has 25 attacks. So what? He has like a million resistance. When he procs the Glacies, thanks to all these half-naked guys around. Oh yeah, look at me and my horde of Summer Xanders. Yeah, look at me. Your naked chest gives me strength. All of a sudden, he powers up his blaster. Blows his blood all over everyone's face. That, my friend, is Niles. You power him up, and he uses his Glacies and blow everyone's face off. That is Niles. I think Niles is really underrated. His resistance is something to be feared.
So you would agree that Summer Xander's ability of having a rock-hard chest and no nipples contributes to Niles' power, then?
Oh yeah, definitely. He's like his battery pack. Talk about Final Fantasy XI. Oh my god, dude. Actually, you know what? I will talk about Final Fantasy XI because it kind of pertains to this. So in Final Fantasy XI, all right, when I first played it was like, dude, I wanted to be Blue. I want to be a guy who carries a spear and hit things repeatedly. The problem with Final Fantasy XI is that if you don't have a party, you can't do anything. Well, unless you're a Beastmaster, in which case, have fun playing Pokemon like your whole lifetime. See, the problem with finding a party is that you need healers. Nobody wants to heal, it's not exciting. When I decide that I'm going to turn my Elvon Spearman into a healer, it actually was a lot of fun for me because I control who lives and who dies. Somebody, decides to pull too much aggro, I laugh at him. I don't heal him because if I do, I get aggro. So I'm just going to let him die, laugh at him, revive him, and then we try again. So that is the privilege that you have as a healer in an MMO like that. I think healers needs to be appreciated more. They're like, as a matter of fact, they're kind of like teachers. Teachers are not getting paid enough. Teachers are not getting paid enough, yet they're doing something that is most important to society. You need teachers. You need people to teach people to go about the right way. But,
this wasn't scripted, by the way, just because I'm a teacher.
Don't script
I didn't tell Lubu to say this.
I haven't scripted a damn thing, all right? Everything I've been saying is just off of my brain damaged head. Do you think I have time to script things? I don't. I don't have the time for that. But anyway, so yeah, healers and teachers are very important. That's basically how it comes to be. You need one of those things in your party, and well, guess what? No, there's no healer. You got to deal with me. That's what I feel about Final Fantasy XI. It was a very fun experience for me. So, what type of free-to-play teammates would you recommend for DC Obaro? Oh, definitely a healer. Definitely a healer. You need a healer to lower the damage Obaro take. So Sakura will be perfect for this. Sakura, and then have her heal Obaro every time she takes a hit. And then, Obaro kills people with DC and double And quick repose with guard. Guard is very important too. With guard, you can shut down enemies who, say for instance, Aira, okay? She's absolutely disgusting. Her slaying edge and her stupid Regno Astra, she can unleash twice, 2 attacks. Sometimes you can even bust a blue unit. Once you have guard, ooh, what are you gonna do? Scratch me? Scratch me? Power creep girl? Yeah, get the hell out of here. She's still a goddamn shadow in my hero thing, by the way. My hero catalog, she's just a big old shadow because I still haven't pulled one of her. I'm pretty proud of not contributing to that horrible banner because that banner is just a big money grab. But yeah, so that would be what I recommend to go with Obaro. Let's see, is there any other question that is very interesting that I should talk about?
Maybe one more before you have to go, Doctor.
Yeah, I think I've spent too much time here. I apologize. I'm just kind of like, I kind of got more into it than I thought. At first, I was like, oh man, I'm so scared. What am I going to do? I haven't done a stream before. Anyway, so let's see. How busted do you think a flying healer would be? Actually, it's kind of funny. They're not really that busted. It's kind of like how flying Azura is not that busted, but they provide another angle to go about doing things. Carry guidance on them, and the fact that they're flying, they can get anywhere. Also, because they're a mixed type, you can give them attack tactics, defense tactics, and hopefully speed tactics when that comes out. But those are very important things that you should consider when it comes to movement types. So it's not busted, but it gives you a lot of fun options. I also talked about Sarah before, so you just uncandle light or something stupid on her. You can ask me this on my videos or something like that. I can explain more in detail. And what about Guard 3 on Boy? I think Guard 3 on Boy is fine, especially with quick repose. Anyway, I guess that's it. Do you have anything else you want to tell me?
No, not at all, Doctor. And thank you so much for your time being here. And maybe one day we'll visit you again, right?
Okay, that sounds like a plan. Maybe we can talk with someone else, like Dire Thunder. I always want to hear his opinion of things. He seems like the type of guy who likes to get in deep with the mechanics of the game. I mean, I figured you as well. So we can all have a little chat together. It would be kind of cute.
I completely agree then, Lubu.
Yeah.
AKA
Do it over tea.
Sakura. We can definitely do everything over tea. Do we invite Soleil though?
Maybe. She's kind of cute. Cool.
That's very cool then, Dr. Sakura. Feel free to give your final words then to the chat and everyone watching, because I'm sure they'll be seeing this later as well.
Oh, alright. So, really, what's most important is that you remember that every unit can be the strongest unit in the game. It's just a matter of, being creative. Don't just go and listen to, Game Press for advice. They might not fit your need. You have to sometimes think on your own. Every unit in the game can be made powerful.
Totally agree with you, Doctor. Thank you so much. We'll be showcasing some awesome characters inspired by your talk today. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Take care.
Have a good one, Doc. Bye-bye.
Yep. See you again.